questions. We have tons of them. What if some of those questions can be answered with a simple email? Now is that time, and welcome to Chat with Charlie. Host Stephanie Lynn is a certified spiritual life coach and psychic medium. She will work together with Spirit to answer both your submitted and live questions. Not only will Stephanie be providing you with insight, but also interviews with amazing guests. Now, your host of Chat with Charlie, Stephanie Lynn.
Good morning, everybody. Stephanie Lynn here on WLTK-DB Talk Radio, and I'm your host of Chat with Charlie. Good morning, Terry. I do want to jump in and let you guys know we unfortunately had some change of plans with today's show, so I do apologize. We are not going to be able to run our 2-hour special. Unfortunately, Michael Christopher, who was supposed to join us, had some last minute things he needed to take care of and was not feeling well today. So we are going to be rescheduling that. We will have a secret special guest popping in here in a little bit, so they'll be joining us. And so while we wait for our guest to kind of pop in, I wanted to talk to you about a lesson I learned today and kind of how a spirit was using me. And I feel like there's probably more of you out there who need to hear this, need to kind of assess those things. And so Spirit's lesson today was, or is, going with the flow. I tend to be somebody who I like things set up. I know what my day is going to look at, things that I have to get done already the night before. I've got these mental lists. And one thing that I have struggled with within the area of my mediumship, within the area of, good morning, Pamela, and working in the area of trusting, trusting when you step into your spirituality is a big deal. You have to build trust with spirit, but also surrendering. And I'm currently actually doing a mentorship with some other ladies with the wonderful Maria Celeste. And last night, she really talked about that surrendering to spirit, letting go of our ego. What does that mean? And I found myself a little, overwhelmed, I guess, this morning with having to look at things and kind of reassess. Good morning, Facebook user. And I'm like a little frazzled because I'm like, oh man, this is not going to my plan. This is not what I expected my day to look like. And I even, actually, some of you guys may know, I love essential oils. So I got my diffuser going. I've got some Swiss Used Harmony in there, trying to kind of regain some of my mental balance. Yes, Tim, the hardest habit to learn is flexibility. I completely agree. And so I realized, though, when I stopped and not being upset for why we had to reschedule, it was a me thing. And it was my ego being like, this is not what our day was supposed to look like. Yeah, it wasn't. But the day is going to go fine. Like I said, I have that special guest who's going to be jumping in. Spirit definitely has topics for all of us to talk about. And it made me really assess my ego, because we don't always know it's our ego coming in. We don't always see that as being our ego. And I also had to reassess my surrender. That was a big thing that came up during class for me yesterday was I'm trusting, I'm doing these things, but how much control, right? How much control am I giving to spirit? I'm not giving them a lot of control. I want and I expect things to go the way I have planned. And that's not why I'm here. If I'm sitting here really telling you all that I'm here to be a servant to spirit and to work for the things that spirit needs and to serve them, I have to let go of that, right? So we're going to roll with it. We're giving spirit control. Spirit's taking control of the show today. Clearly, not surprised that it's kind of by force, because I do things the hard way, right? The hard way's more entertaining, I guess. Why just listen? So I did pull a card this morning, though, when I was sitting here kind of prepping for the show, just as a leeway. And I think you guys will all find it pretty entertaining. And it comes from the Sacred Forest. And you can't make this up. I was like, Spirit, what What are we talking about? What do you want me to do? And the card they gave us for this morning is a thicket of thorns, uncertainty, right? Uncertainty. And so where are we when we are in that uncertainty? We're developing trust with spirit. We're starting to learn the hard way. Hopefully for the rest of you, it's the easier way to surrender. But within that uncertainty, what is there? If you're not going to take that leap of faith, if you're not going to trust in that surrender and in that process, you're going to stay within this place of uncertainty. So I could have sat here completely panicked, through the whole show and worried about my ego, worried about, oh, this isn't what it was supposed to look like. But instead, I'm taking the lesson. I'm understanding to be flexible. I'm understanding to let my ego go. For whatever reason, this wasn't meant to happen today, but today's spirit did want us to sit down. They wanted us all to take this lesson in surrender and in trust, and what that means, how we continue to develop our relationship with them. And then within that development, how we are developing our abilities or our own personal relationship with them. And so it really reinforced to me, and I hope it reinforces to you, that importance of surrender, trusting where spirit is taking things, trusting where spirit is putting you for a certain reason. And I do want to talk about really quickly, I don't always talk to you guys about what's going on with me, but a couple big things as I'm starting to step out, I'm starting to trust. I am going to be offering a beginner's mediumship psychic development class. You can find that on Eventbrite. I did share a bunch of links for the show prior to you guys all coming in so that I could focus and sit and talk to you. But I will put that up for you. If anybody's interested, it's one of the first comments. You can go in, check it out. This is really for people who have always wondered, like, do I have abilities? What's going on with me? Seeking to understand. Just wanting to put that resource out to everybody, because I know up until I found Diet, I didn't have those resources. I didn't know where to go. And so Spirit was really making me feel like it was time to put that out there, to be a resource if people need it, so that that option is out there for anybody who might be interested. Also, this weekend, if you guys are in the Wausau area, I am going to be spotlighting on Saturday. So doing readings, psychic and mediumship readings, oracle card readings at Bill's Moonstones. So I hope you'll stop in, come say hi. Even if you don't want a reading, check out their products. They have amazing products, and it's super exciting, super fun. So in this need for surrender, it looks different for all of us, right? For me, where I need to surrender within my life is really not having to compartmentalize, not having to live up to those expectations set out by everything else. And it was really important, or something I really picked up on in class yesterday in this mentorship, is they talk about, oh, Jessica, I hope you do come and say hi. Bring the new baby so I can give her squeezes. Is, when I'm sitting here, when I'm talking and trying to be a resource, I'm not here to prove who I am. I mean, I am the person that I am. I am here to prove to you that life continues on, to prove to you the value in finding resources. And so looking at it from that aspect really takes a lot off of our shoulders. And I feel like for me, that made me start understanding the trust that I've already built up, but how that related to the surrender, because I'm not surrendering who I am, right? I am this person. I am surrendering into being used and open to being used how Spirit wants me to be. I'm not sitting here giving Spirit this list and saying, okay, listen, I'm going to do this, but in return, you need to do this, this, and this, right? And if you think of it from a different perspective, even as a mom, if my child came to me and said, all right, Mom, I'm going to do the dishes, but for me to do the dishes, you need to do this, 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 and this, it would never happen. I can tell you right now, I'd look at my child and say, I don't negotiate with terrorists, because there's not negotiation in some of those expectations. And so I feel like spirit kind of looks at us the same way. They look at us and they're not here to negotiate. They're here to help us. So that being said, I want everybody to really work on that surrender, work on trusting, because it all works out. And even when you're afraid it doesn't, you have fantastic friends and people who come and hold your hand and help bail you out. So on that note, I would like to welcome our wonderful special surprise guest.
Hey, lady.
Hello.
I'm here.
You look beautiful. You look beautiful. I am so glad that you are here.
Oh,
Answering
thank you.
the
It's been a
call.
busy morning already. I'll tell you what. And I do
Oh.
it look like complete hell, but I'm here. So
You
but
look
my
just
shirt.
fine.
My shirt, thankfully blasted a little and kind of a mess. It fixed my shirt. So
It's a great theme for the day.
it
It really is.
I've
And
already
it's
done a deep meditation with a friend in Indiana. I just did a reading with somebody in Minnesota.
wonderful. You see it? And that's what we were just talking about, leewaying into you coming in, was that trust and that surrender.
Mhm.
Because it is such a big deal. And I think we don't always realize how our ego comes in and affects that trust and affects that surrender. And on days like today, even talking to Todd, talking to you, it's like, for me, and you know me, I can be very regimented in certain
Mhm.
ways. And so like today, I'm like, well, man, this is not how my day was supposed to look. And then spirit's like, so? And I'm like, no, wait, you don't understand. You don't understand. And so it's kind of funny. And the card that spirit gave me for the day was the thickets and uncertainty. So you can't make that up.
Right.
You can't.
Exactly.
Good morning, Erica.
Exactly, 110%. It's so funny because my day's just getting busier and busier.
You know what? But that's a
I'm
good
just
thing.
getting my ego out of the way and seeing what happens. You know what I mean? That's why when we were talking, I'm like, "Oh, come on." And then after I said that, I went, "Well, I took a shower today, and yeah, I'm just gonna come on in the raw and just go with whatever."
You know what?
It
It is what it is, and I'm learning that, because
is.
it's when, and I kind of had this realization this morning, so I think it was important for spirit to give me this lesson. When we let go, if I would have sat in my panic for the day and for the show and my ego, I would have missed out on the beautiful opportunity of what we have going on now.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
right. And so I think people you have to learn that. Like, surrendering does not mean letting go of yourself.
No.
It means being open.
Mhm. It also is about standing in your own power.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that's a word, that's a statement I hate, I fight with all
Yeah.
the time. And it's so funny because, I actually in my meditation this morning, I got, "You need to write a course on standing in your own power," and I'm like,
Ooh.
"Oh, that's a hard one." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? From somebody that doesn't normally, I would say I do it, but, I
Right. Right.
struggle with it.
But and as somebody who really has gotten to know you very well over the last couple years, I think that's something that you have really flourished in.
Yeah, some days,
Now, I
some
mean,
days.
yeah, and it
Well,
is a struggle.
it is, and I will tell you what, and I mean, if you don't mind, I'm gonna talk about this for a second,
Yeah.
but because the reason why I hate that word or that statement is
Mhm.
because, um, after I started mediumship and I'd already taken all my first classes and blah, blah, blah with my first person, um, Lillian, and I mean, she's fabulous. I love her to death. But I went to do my first gallery, and there was like 150 plus people. There was
Oh,
150, and then it was like standing room only. It was a lot of people,
yeah.
and she could see that I was getting intimidated, but not just by the gallery, but by some of the people we were working with that were
Mhm.
really strong people in their personalities. And I can remember before we went on stage, she looked at me, she goes, "You stand in your power, you don't let anybody take that from you." And in my head went, "What the hell does that mean? I
Yeah.
have no clue what that means. I am clueless." Oh, and she walked away. And
Right.
she didn't know I didn't know what she was talking about, and I struggled with it. And I will tell you what, this is what happened. We got on stage, and everybody took there was 4 of us, everybody took their turn. It was time for me, and I opened up just start doing these readings. Like, I got this. And that's the moment we found out I was a medical intuitive.
Wow.
Because literally everything came flying at me. Like, I had a rope put around my neck, and it was like I was committing suicide by a rope.
Mhm.
I felt like I was shot. I felt like I had a heart attack. I felt like I'd gotten stabbed. I mean, everybody and their dead people, everything came at me all at once.
Yeah.
And I crumbled and I went, "Ugh," and I couldn't breathe. And they looked at me and went, "Oh my God, she's a medical intuitive." And they all surrounded me to block it. And I couldn't get back in my power. I couldn't get back to where I was,
Yeah.
and I just basically threw it away. And I actually struggled with that for a few years because I kept going, what does that mean? What does that mean to stand in your power? What does that mean to stand in your own strength? I still didn't get it. So it was funny because then it came back at me again because it was one of those things. I'm like, I'm not going to deal with this. If I don't know it, I'm just not,
Right.
I'm not going to I'm not going to be the stupid kid in class and ask the question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't Google it. I didn't do anything. And I came to my master teacher training. And we had to teach a small 30-minute course on a subject. And everything I picked, everybody, because of course you're bouncing it off fellow students, and everybody's like,
Right.
nope, 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 nope. And finally, the night before, I went, "Ugh," and I heard it, standing in your power. And I'm like, oh, that awful thing again.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no, 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 no. And I went, fine. And I will tell you what, I wrote a very quick class. It was a half an hour. I can't even tell you what it was anymore because it's literally blanked out of my brain. And it turned out to be a phenomenal class on it. A lot of people, they all said they got so much out of it, which is amazing, but I threw it away again, because
Mhm.
I didn't want to deal with that.
Right.
And it's only been, I would say, the last 6 months that
Mhm.
really I've returned to it again,
Yeah.
of standing on who I am, knowing who I am, being strong within who I am, and not allowing somebody else to take that from me or giving it away either.
Right.
Just giving it
Absolutely.
away. So, you know what? When those things happen to me and I go, "Hey, I feel like this is I got this. I mean, on my own show, I've had guests not show up, and I'm like, "Guess I'm gonna talk for 2 hours. Thank God I don't know how to shut up." You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So, yeah, that's that's my ramble for the day.
I
Seems
like
to
it.
be my thing this morning. It was a meditation that came up with you.
It's no, but it does tie into everything too, because you're like me, where a lot of things spirit does the hard way, right?
Yeah.
And so, or I should say, I'm like you, but either way, a horse apiece. When they keep bringing those things up, it's that surrender of finally being like, okay, all right, I'll listen.
Yeah.
What, I got this. So, and I get it, and it's very interesting. Yesterday, I was doing my mentorship with Maria, and she
Mhm.
had us going through a meditation. And I think so many times, and with you it was different, but when you're learning about meditation, a lot of people, it's like you have to do it this way, or this way.
Mhm.
And Maria was taking us through and having us sit within the light of source. And so I'm
That's the
like,
meditation I did this morning.
there you go.
Sure.
See, there's a
For sure.
theme.
Me
And
and
so
Maria sat this morning.
so I'm going through this, and I found I have started to be able to connect very quickly. And
Mm.
so I, as a person, get frustrated because my body's already like ahead, and
Mhm.
I'm hearing the words and I'm like, no, hello, you're not following along. And I'm like, see you later. And so I got to the source light, which was great. And I was there for maybe a minute. And then Spirit's like, come on, we're going higher. And I'm like, no, we're supposed to be here. What do you mean we're going higher? Like, what is higher? Like, no. And so it was interesting because I went somewhere completely different, and was seeing different things, but I pulled myself out. And
Mhm.
and I talked to Maria after that, and I said, well, this is what happened, but I wasn't doing what the meditation was saying. I wasn't, but that's that surrender, trusting spirit to take you somewhere else. And
Mm.
so it's kind of been a theme the last couple of days, which I don't know how I feel about that yet.
I get it because I did the same meditation with her this morning because I reached out to her last week and I said, "Oh my God," you know what I mean? And because I
Yeah.
want to get back to doing more trance because it's same type of theory, but of course, because you know my journey and everything, and
Yeah.
you came, so lovingly into my life, even more so in the last couple of months. But when I look at the last couple of months, when I reached out to Maria last week, it was about, you know what? I went and did trance class, which, oh my God, such a blessing to be able to completely surrender,
Yes.
completely let go, let a spirit come in and just do whatever it wants, basically, and know that I'm still in control, but I don't need to be in OCD control, I guess, the best way to put it. But when I came back from that, my mediumship was changed
Yeah.
drastically, drastically changed. And I struggled with that. You know what I mean? At the same time, we brought you into the fold and I'm like, oh my God, it's like, oh, what is going on? What have I done? And my husband
Right.
at me for 2 months, like, what have I done? What have I done? And struggling against that, I mean, knowing
Mhm.
that it's got to be there, but struggling, they put tangible. So I'm struggling against you half the time. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's only been the last few days that I went, oh my God, wait a second. So when I reached out to Maria, I said, "This is what's been going on. But I feel like I need to get back to more trance because." And she's like, "It makes sense because again, they're taking you up. They're taking
Right.
you way up, and then when you come back down, you're like, here I am still. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it is starting to listen. It is starting to go. Here you go. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I will tell you what. Just in the last week, just in the last week, with that trust and that ego, so many dynamics have changed.
Mhm.
You know, I've upped my rates where Spirit wanted me to up them a year ago. They finally got
Right.
upped yesterday. So if anybody gets readings with me, sorry guys, they did go up. But there were Spirit wanted these, and I fought with that, going, I
Yeah.
can't trust. I can't trust. You guys are crazy. Guess
Yeah.
what? I finally listened. I heard, everybody was screaming at me, get marketing, get marketing. I'm like, I looked at prices. They're
Yeah.
and I went, "Whoa," and they went, "You don't need that. Don't
Right.
listen to the people around you, listen to us."
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Next thing you know, I'm creating my own a new logo last night going, "Whoa, I did it.
Yeah.
Wow." And I think it's better than the one I paid for some years back.
Right.
But
Right.
again, it's trusting and trusting and trusting. And with my
Right.
meditation today, it took me up and then dropped me right back in my body. And guess what I heard was standing in your power. You're
Uh,
ready. And I'm like,
right.
you know? And then naturally, I went right back up to the light, and I no more than got back up to the light and that connection, and Maria started to end the meditation. I'm like, "Well, that sucked."
I love it. I love it.
But
That's funny. What
it's
do you
how it
do?
works. I
Right.
think we all are working on different things.
Absolutely. And I laugh, I tell spirit because and for me, I know it is that surrender. And they
Mhm.
keep saying, go with the flow. And I'm like, listen, if I start going with the flow, you better send in some really heavy spirit guides because Diet and I are screwed. Like, we cannot both be going with the flow. Like, you guys better send something in and fix this.
You know what? I think we both can go with the flow. Why can't
Oh,
we?
man.
Why can't we do it together? You know what I mean?
We
Why can't we rock
maybe.
it together? There's no reason why we can't.
It'll be interesting.
It's going to be interesting. You know what I mean? And that's okay, but it does mean the dynamics of and maybe that's one reason why they brought us together in the only way we knew how we could.
Right.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So,
Absolutely.
because, I didn't wanna do it by myself, and Spirit went,
Right.
"Nope, I know." So they said, "Bring in Stephanie as an assistant," and I went, "Okay," and they went, they're telling Stephanie, "Oh, I'm not ready, I'm not ready." So they're like, "Give you your teacher to kind of put
Right.
you there," so
Right.
who knows? Who knows
Who
what their
knows?
process is? We don't know. I
It'll be
love
a
your
fun
shirt, by
ride.
the way.
Oh,
I love
thank you.
your
I
shirt.
found it in the way back of my closet.
I love that.
Thanks. I told Spirit I need a stylist, and they're like, go way back in your closet. I'm like, oh, all right, I like it.
Okay.
So we're gonna take
Patty Negree calls me her spiritual stylist, just so you
oh, good to know.
know.
Good to know.
I
I
have
also
dressed
did
the
send you a
stars now,
message.
guys.
I did send you a message about what you used to create your logo too.
Oh
So we'll
my
have to
god, I
chat
use
about that
Canva.
later.
I
Really?
use
That's
Canva,
kind of what
yeah.
I wondered. I'm gonna
I
need
use
help.
Canva. Literally, I made, like, 3 logos last night, 3 of
That's
them.
awesome.
Um, and one I really liked, which is the one I went with, and the other 2 are like, "Oh, but maybe these are more professional, maybe these are
Mm,
this, maybe it's that." And it was so funny because in my head, we never think about our resources. And I'm
right.
not a person to go, "Oh my god, blah, blah, blah." But I have a friend. He's a friend. I also work with him. Um, I'm not gonna say his name, but, he used to be a marketing director for somebody very, very, very big.
Yeah.
And I went, why am I not using this resource? He's my friend. So I
Right.
literally sent him a text and I said, hey, hon, I said, you know what? I want you as a friend right now, nothing else, because you've got a great eye.
Yeah.
I don't want you to nitpick it. I want what your first thing is. And I sent him a couple that I looked at. I said, create a new logo. What's your thought? And he's seen the one I created. He's like, oh my God, I love it. That one, definitely put it up.
Awesome.
And I went, okay, let's
Yeah.
go with it. And it was so funny because we kind of tore it apart this morning. And I know not everybody on here has seen it, but we tore it apart this morning. And because it's the raven, and
Yeah.
they went, Maria was like, the nose is a little dark. Can you lighten it? I looked at it and I said, I don't think it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Ravens are messengers from spirit. They're
Right.
not a crow, they're messengers. So they bring messages from spirit. And I said, if you look at the logo, the beak is very black. And as it goes through the body, it lightens up and you can see spirit kind of going in there until it
Yeah.
gets to the tail where the tail is all white. And at the tail, you don't know quite if it's a raven's tail or if it's an angel now. I
Right.
said,
Yeah.
I
It
think
blends.
the
I
black
love
is
it.
very tangible and the white, it's very like human, where the
Yes.
very white is more angelic. And I think it's bringing it together through the fluidity of it. And she was like, oh my God, that is perfect.
Yeah. I
You know
love
what I
it.
mean? So honestly, bringing spirit through to create that logo and just listening. It was just
Yeah.
listening because anybody that knows me was like, I don't do tech. I don't do tech.
You're getting better. You're getting so much better.
And spirit said, you do tech. Just trust us. You can do this. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do. And that's what happened.
I love it.
So,
So
yeah.
let's take a quick short break.
Oh, but
And
why?
when we
That'd be
come
so much
back,
fun.
if that's okay, if anybody wants to pop in maybe a couple psychic questions, we can have some fun with that and at least get some questions answered for you guys today. So we will see you back in just a few minutes.
Would you like to be a part of something new, something different? Host a show with WLTK-DB Talk Radio and dare to be different. We offer full production and live engineering of your show by a real person, not a pesky computer. Just visit WLTK-DB.com and click pricing to get started. It's not as much as you think and a great way for you to get your message to the world. Better hurry. Slots fill up fast and you don't want to miss out on this excellent opportunity. Visit WLTK-DB.com and contact us for more information now. WLTK-DB Talk Radio. Paranormal talk is our business, and business is good. From its beginnings, Used was created to unleash the excellence of nature's healing powers and bring them to people everywhere. With almost 90 years in the market, they are considered a worldwide pioneer in complete herbal wellness therapy. All Swiss Used products are natural, essential oil-based, pleasant, and harmonious. They are extracted from plants and herbs with the latest technology to ensure the best results. Swiss Used Live Healthy with consultant Stephanie will guide you in the right direction to find the perfect essential products just for you. For example, have an upset tummy? Try our soothing chamomile that has not only been used by many, but trusted for years. Keep in mind, you just can't get these amazing oils at your local shopping center. They're just too special. For that, you need a connection. And that connection is Stephanie. Want some? Then head on over to Facebook and search Swiss Used Live Healthy. That's Swiss Used Live Healthy. And contact Stephanie today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Chat with Charlie. And I am on with our special pop-in guest, Diet Renee. And I'm so excited to have you here. I know some people, if you're just tuning in, it's a little bit of a change. Good morning, Ellie. But we are still going to be answering some psychic questions. So if you have psychic questions, start popping those in. We do want to try and give you guidance or insights in any ways that we can help you. So the fastest way to end our rambling is to start popping in questions.
We don't end rambling. Are you kidding me?
That's true. We don't. We don't.
Sorry, guys. Anybody that knows me knows this mouth does not shut up, and I ramble. That's why I call myself A, unfiltered, and B, God gave me a mouth to use. So there you go.
Right?
Okay, we're doing cards and psychic. Oh my God, I love that.
I know you love cards. I know you love cards.
You know, the funny thing is I don't love it. I love cards, but I hate cards. I have this love-hate relationship with cards, which is awesome. Yes. Sorry, Jessica. Yes. Anyway, I have a love-hate relationship, so I'm a card whore. Okay. This is how cards get me. I think it's a diabolical scheme against me. So I go to a metaphysical store and they'll have like this card pull.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you grab the card, pull it. And if it gives me a good card, I go and I buy the damn deck.
That happens.
That's how I got the Sacred Traveler deck I just bought.
Well, and I don't know about you, but I found like I'll buy a deck and then I might use it for a little bit. And then I find that I don't connect with my deck. And then I end up giving it away to somebody, though, who like will start saying something and it directly ties in with the deck that I don't relate to. And I'm like, oh, here you go.
I don't give my cards away.
Oh, no. I do.
Oh, no.
All right.
Okay. I'm a whore of cards.
It's all right. See, and I'm more conservative. I don't share. I find one and it's like mine forever.
Right. There you go. It's just so sad because I got oracles and tarots there. I got fake books over here with court cards and
I do like that new cabinet.
Do you?
I do.
It's an old cabinet, but I decided for the world to be able to see it. Here, you want to see more of it?
Yeah, I like it. It's very nice. It looks very good.
I bought that like a year ago and I fell in love with it.
I love it. I need to redo my section, but I'll get to that eventually.
You know what? I just keep adding to it and letting everybody go, hey, she's just an eclectic person. I'm not quite a hoarder, but
I just need a spot where like everybody doesn't walk through so I don't have to worry about the flow for them.
There you go.
But we'll get there. So Jessica,
buy a screen, put it behind you. I did that for a long time.
Yeah, I tried that and then my cats knocked it over. So there's that. So Jessica is asking, will my business grow this year with mediumship?
Yes. Amplify your positive emotions. I like this card. I like this card a lot. The weird thing is about this card. I know she's probably looking at it, but I will tell you what, this is really mind over matter, Jessica, is where I'm seeing. So it's kind of like you're going to get out of it what you put into it at this point. Okay. But you do have to look at the ripple effect. You have to look at, okay, if I do this, what is going to happen? So it's kind of like, as you see the ripple of the baby angel getting in here, or fairy getting into the water, she's doing one action. She's just getting in. And what happens is it just ripples from there. So know that, you know what, and I know she's doing lives. So those lives are going to create more people coming in, more people watching, and those people are going to bring other people. So keep doing what you're doing and watching your business grow. Okay. Don't get, and stay present where you're at. So don't be looking at the last ripple. If you know, she's not looking at what's being created out front of her. She's looking at right where her feet are so she doesn't trip. So don't get ahead of yourself. Just know it is naturally happening. It's naturally pushing out and you're going to slowly get there. I think you're going to get to some place. You're going to go, wow, I didn't even know this was possible. So that's my thought on it.
And I love it. And I agree with Diet. And the card that I pulled, I think really ties in great with her card. It's wisdom. And I feel like this is coming in to kind of represent where you started before. But you've added into that wisdom. You've added into your experiences. And I feel like you're bringing that wisdom with you now to the table as you approach this a little bit differently, try different things like with doing the lives and all those great things that you're doing. So I feel like this ties in as far as, yes, use the wisdom, use the things that you have learned, use the things not just that may have been taught to you, but that you inherently know. And that wisdom is going to come through and pull in and also help establish that business going forward.
You do.
Okay. Holly says, good morning. How can I tell if a loved one is trying to connect with me?
They don't shut up.
Well, I agree. I do agree. I think too many times we kind of explain away when they're reaching out or explain away those signs and look for reasons. And so I do feel like there's been little things that have come up where you're just like, oh, well, that's this, or, oh, well, that's that. And so I feel like when those things happen, instead of trying to explain away, try to connect with that present moment and where that resonates with you and who that resonates with.
Mm-hmm. I also find that, you know what, not only those signs, but you keep, and if you're not seeing the signs, if you're actually much more rudimentarily on that, you'll start thinking about the person. You'll just start, and it'll be the oddest times, like going to the bathroom or in the shower, or trying to get to bed at night, or doing your work, and all of a sudden they pop into your head. You know, I mean, that's the very smallest amount of it, is they'll make you think about them. You know, I mean, whatever it might be like memories of being there with them. It might be the name, it might be what they look like, whatever it is, but they will start small and get bigger for you.
Ellie says, I turn 65 next month and have gotten on Medicare. I plan on keeping my insurance from previous employer, but I'm wondering if I should go from top coverage to a standard coverage, as this will be a secondary insurance.
Yeah, I do feel like that's what you should do, Ellie. Go into the standard. Yeah, I do feel like you should go to the standard. I also want you, I keep hearing deductibles. So I'm not sure if the deductibles are going to get better doing it that way, or what's going on. But something about, look at the deductibles, okay? But I think it's the deductibles of both to be able to bring that kind of together, okay? In some aspect, I feel like I'm looking at other people I know that have done that, and all of a sudden, even though they have the Medicare with their secondary insurance, sometimes the deductibles get kind of high. So look at that before you make your decision.
And I'm getting, Ellie, too. They're showing me the need to compare. And I feel like eventually you will be doing, because they're showing me that step down. But I feel like there's something right now with that tier that you're in now before you drop down. And it has to do with some kind of coverage or something. So I don't know if you have something coming up, but I also feel that need to compare where you're going to be losing the difference, and making sure that it's going to offset this, because they're showing me like Dia is saying, compare, but I feel like it's something that's coming up. So just make sure that if you drop down to the secondary, you won't be losing too much coverage that your other insurance is not going to cover, if that makes sense. Do you see me leaving my current job? Oh.
Yes, but I feel like it's going to be
sense.
slower into the leaving of the job. I feel like you're sinking into it or falling into it. Okay. So I feel like what's happening with you, Dionysus, is it's like when I read the question, I get into my throat and then it starts to go down and starts to sink into my stomach. So I feel like this isn't like, oops, I'm going to quit my job right now. I feel like your person's kind of got to get pushed out of it. So it's like holding on for dear life. Like, I don't want to give it up. I don't, like, you don't want to give it up. You don't want to go anywhere. Where am I going to go? Blah, blah, blah. So you're holding on to this. So I feel like it's going to slowly pull at you until the point where you finally go, okay, I'm just going to quit. I'm going to walk away. It's kind of like getting to that point of saying enough is enough, or I've had enough, and then walking away from there. But with that being said, I already feel as if you already understand a career change altogether. Not just a job change, but a career change, because I'm seeing a light on the other side. But I feel like you have to come into your own to realize that, you know what, you are more than capable of making this switch at any time. You just have to believe in yourself and your abilities to do that.
And I completely agree with what Dia is saying. What Spirit actually showed me was you holding onto a rope, and you're sliding down this rope, and it's like you're coming to the end of being able to release, because I also feel like there's a reason that you're holding on, or there's a reason that you haven't chosen yet to move on. So I feel like within the next couple of months that you're kind of going to be getting to the end of your rope, literally, where then you're going to be looking at making a transition.
Did you start all these comments, or did Todd do it?
I did.
How'd you do it?
I hit the star.
What star?
Hover.
Oh my God, there's a star there.
Yeah, and then it puts it over in the other section.
Can you? Oh my God, I didn't even know. Oh my God. Hoot hoot. I'm sorry. That is going to make Tuesday night so much easier.
It will. Todd's laughing at us backstage, by the way.
I'm sorry. I'm in all my glory. I'm watching you. I'm like, who's doing that?
Yeah, it makes it way easier.
That is so awesome. Sorry. I'm so happy now. I'm in my happy place. Toot toot.
So Caprice is asking, should I
check? Sorry.
It's okay. Should I continue with this lawsuit? And actually the first answer I heard was no, but it was a very specific like no. And when I tried to kind of move into more of why Spirit was saying that, I wasn't getting the clarity I needed. And so I pulled a card, and the card that actually came up for that is New Beginnings. And I feel like with this New Beginnings card, I almost feel like where Spirit is coming in and saying no as far as the lawsuit is more so talking about releasement, letting go, and moving past things, because I feel like with holding on to the situation around the lawsuit has really caused a lot of stress, a lot of, I almost feel anxiety, and it's like the outcome or the struggle, is it worth it? And so while I hate to, I'm not giving legal advice and saying no, absolutely not, but I would look at what is this costing you to continue to pursue this, and what is it costing you within your health, within your peace of mind, versus what the possible outcome could be. So I hope that makes sense.
There you go. I like that. I'm just gonna go with that. I just feel like the lawsuit will go on in the background without her having to give energy to it.
Right.
And so it's like, I feel like she doesn't have to put all the energy into it, but it'll still go on the background. So I don't know if that is so much of paying for the lawyers up front, as it is maybe being pro bono, if that makes sense. So I just feel as if it's that aspect. So it's like, if it continues, just stop giving the energy towards it, and let it work its way out without you having to put the thought into it, the energy into it. If you have to actually do it, then walk away with it, because it's almost like it's causing too much stress, So it's kind of like, if it's not costing you money up front, and you can just let the lawyers deal with it, let them deal with it, and let them just tell me in the end what happened. You know what I mean? At the end, because I want to let you know that, you know what, at the end of the day, most lawsuits against medical, you know what, the medical people don't even half the time even realize what's going on. They really don't, because it doesn't affect them. They've got insurance to cover that. So
yeah, I agree.
From a nurse that carried malpractice insurance. So
yeah. So we have time for about 2 more questions. So we're going to take Pamela's, and she said, if you have time, I was curious. I've been having an ache in the center of my chest, then feel a panic. I've been asking, where is this coming from? What is this about? And I'm not getting an answer.
I got so many smart ass and things going through my head. It's not even funny, but Pamela knows me, so she not saying any of those. So, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say it because I can't get it out of my head. Okay. So, I don't know if it's cartoon or what it is, that it's what show I'm seeing. I feel like it's a cartoon. I don't know, but it feels like it's an older one where you see the person kind of like explode, exploding out of their chest. You know what I mean? Like the light is coming out of their chest and they go, ah, and all of a sudden their superpowers are activated. You know what does that make sense to you? So what I'm seeing is this pain here. And I saw that on your face. So it's kind of like what I'm seeing is like wonder powers activated. You know what I mean? Like a cartoon. So it's like this pain in your chest is going out. So it almost makes me feel it's like, oh my God, just give up, give and let it freaking happen already. You know what I mean? I know you've got a lot of abilities. You know you have abilities, but you like to surrender. You don't like to surrender into them. You like to fight, 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 fight all the way. So when you get this in your chest, just go like that, kind of boop those boobs out a little bit, and imagine that light coming through your chest, and just allowing that surrender, allowing that trust to happen, and stop panicking, because this isn't a panic. This is a breathe through it, allow it to happen, allow it to go, and allow yourself to go forward. I don't feel like it's medical. I feel like it's very intuitive, but I think it's you blocking you, and that's where the pain is coming. So hard to surrender. I got a sledgehammer, Pamela.
Right. And this was totally the right show to tune into about a message about surrendering today. So welcome. Welcome.
Give Pamela a very small hammer, sledgehammer, and I'm going to deliver it to her. I'm kidding, Pamela. I'm not going to do that, but helps with the 2x4 therapy.
It's something. All right. Tim says he learns a lot from watching both of us. I'm sorry. We're really good in schooling and sarcasm. If we have time, he would love a card from either of us.
Okay. I got a song I'm making up in my head, and it's so inappropriate.
You're singing a song?
Yeah. I'm not going to sing it. It's really weird. Things fell out at me. This makes so much sense, Tim. I got two. First one was open your heart. Open your heart. Let things in. The second one was new experiences and possibilities. But you can't have this without this, Tim. So you really have to open up. If you notice the card with the opening up, you see her. She's surrendering to this swan. She's surrendering to the love. She's surrendering. If you look at spirit, if you look at the love, if you look at everything, she's just surrendering. She's done fighting. She's just laid back and so beautifully said, here, I'm ready. I'm ready. And once she did that, all the new experiences and possibilities are coming. Those opportunities are there. I'm going to tell you, Tim, I do feel like you have a ton of opportunities all around you, but you have to finish on opening up, finish the struggles, and allow it just to kind of embrace it and come in. Now, I know you're working really hard at this, but again, it's just practicing going for today, for this moment. I am going to surrender to this. I'm going to allow spirit to bathe in spirit. I'm going to allow them to bathe in whatever it is they want to give to me and allow it to happen.
I love that. And, it's kind of, you can't make up these things, how spirit ties things in, but I got two cards also. And so the first one I got was protection. Where are my cards? There we go. Protection. And the second card I got is leadership. And so I think this really kind of ties in too with Diette's message, because you're self-protecting. You're putting up those walls around yourself and limiting yourself outside of what spirit wants for you and knows what you can do. And I really see that protection coming up around your heart, which makes sense. Not that I know you very well, but in the few times that we have talked, is that self-protection, that concealing yourself, pulling that in and around yourself. But if you don't step up and start being a leader, start putting that forward, you're not going to get to those new beginnings and those things that Diette had talked about. And so I think it really just comes in again with spirit saying you need to trust, you need to put down that self-protection, because they're protecting us. They are here to work for our best good, and learning to trust that and working within that and stepping out and being the leader and being that, that proud individual that spirit wants you to be as you go forward. So on that note, yes, Terry, allowing the hardest lesson then we need to learn. I totally agree. I really appreciate you, Miss Diette, coming in,
You.
saving my behinds and helping
You had
answer
this
some
either way.
questions. It was fun, but it's more fun when it's the two of us and we can be sarcastic and spar. And
Yeah.
otherwise, when I do it myself, I just look crazy. So
Oh,
it's nice to have company. It's nice to have company.
Then you're just like me. That's all. That's all.
Right. And I actually will see you in a few minutes. I'm going to let you go so you can get ready for class. And thank you so much. We are going to take
everybody for letting me in and having fun this morning. So, and thank you for taking me in the raw, guys. Thank you for accepting me in all my glory, my natural hair color.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Crazy. Pamela says crazy is good. So I will see everybody back in just a few minutes.
Bye-bye, guys.
Brandon Wainwright, author of Tyson's Gift, How an 8-Pound Canine Became a Man's Greatest Spiritual Guide, and owner of Tyson's Gift Healing Arts, offers Reiki as well as color and sound modalities to anyone seeking physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual healing. While color and sound healing, a technique that brings balance and health to one's chakras and body, must be provided in person. Reiki, a Japanese form of energy healing, can be given in person or equally effectively from a distance. For more information or to make an appointment for a session, please visit TysonsGiftHealing.com. That's TysonsGiftHealing.com.
Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. It is 52 past the hour. I am your host of Chat with Charlie, Stephanie Lynn, on WLTK-DB Talk Radio. Tonight on the network, I did post for you guys the schedule for the whole week, so check that out. You can also go over to WLTK-DB.com and check out the schedule on there. But tonight on the network, a lot of great shows. If you like this show, you're going to love the other shows. We have Realm of Darkness with Renee and Ashley at 7, The Afterlife Chronicles with Nicole Strickland at 8, and Voices of the Dead with Kenneth Drake at 9. So be sure to check those out. Go on. I shared the link up there for you guys. Hop on, check out the other shows. Set yourself reminders. They're fantastic. You don't want to miss them. If you like me and all the foolishness that goes on this show, you will absolutely love the other hosts. Coming up, going out on the Chat with Charlie show on the 11th. So next Thursday, we will be welcoming back best-selling author Amy Burness. She has a new book. So she is going to be coming in, sharing her new book with us, sharing some inspiration. So be sure to tune in for that. On the 18th, we will be welcoming Danny Loosemore. He'll be coming in and talking about tarot. So save your questions if you've wondered with tarot how that works, things you want to check out. The 25th, I will not be on the air. So tune in, kind of catch a repeat if you need to catch up on the shows. I'm not able to be here that day. The first, I'm very excited. We have Unearthed Supernatural coming on. They are fantastic. They are Indigenous paranormal investigators and just so full of knowledge. You guys are really going to enjoy them. And then the 15th, we have Ellie. Ellie has been on our panel, and so she's going to be coming in talking about attachments, talking about those things. And on the 22nd of September, we will have Graham coming in, and Graham is going to be coming in and talking to you guys about spirit guides. He channels. And so I really think you guys will love it. So start saving up your questions for those topics. Make sure you are sending them into chatwcharlie@gmail.com, because that's why we're here. We're here to answer your questions. We are here to be a support. Good morning, Jamie. So Spirit gave me 4 cards for everybody. So now is your time to kind of pick any card. You can pick all 4. You can pick just 4. But pick those out. And I'm actually hearing 5, so I feel like I need to do another card. But we're going to start. So the first card that Spirit gave me is Success. And again, these cards are from the Sacred Forest Oracle by Denise Lynn. And I think, when you look at this card, you can interpret it as 2 ways: as the fairy is ready to get on the boat, or the fairy has finally arrived within her destination, within where they were trying to go. And when I look at the card, I really resonate with that final arrival. You've put in the work. Now is the time to start reaping the benefits of that success. So if there is something that you have been wanting to pursue, wanting to try, you're there. You're reaching that goal. You have that success. And success does not have to be defined by riches or money, but look at it as an accomplishment. What have you been trying to accomplish? What do you want to accomplish? It's right there. It is right there waiting for you. Card number 2 is the Forest Temple, and it's Enlightenment. And I feel like if you have picked card number 2, that you are moving into a phase of, I don't want to say leveling up, but coming to understanding with where you are at, whether it's understanding of your process on the journey, whether it's understanding certain aspects within your abilities or things within relationships, that you are becoming enlightened, that Spirit is sharing with you knowledge to help you better understand, process through, maybe look at things from other perspectives. And so know that that understanding is coming in, that Spirit is coming in and checking with you. And that enlightenment, that knowledge is there, and trust that enlightenment and knowledge to make your decisions. Oh, this is one of my favorite decks too, Pamela. Okay, card number 3, manifesting your dreams. Again, this really ties into not having it here yet, but what do you want? What do you want to set forward? What do you want to have come into your life? And now is the time to set those self goals, to manifest those things in, whether it's an accomplishment, whether it's funds, whether it's relationship things. Set your intention and start allowing those opportunities for those things to come in, because now is the time. Now is the time to start manifesting those and allowing and holding the space for them to come in. Card number 4, if you picked card number 4, talks about magic, moonlight enchantment. And when I look at this card today really resonates not so much as our abilities, or not so much creation, but appreciating the magic in the everyday things, being present, taking that time to appreciate, the magic of nature, the magic of certain relationships, the magic of self, realizing that we all have a certain spark or magic within us, and that we need to stay present within this time so that we can really truly appreciate the things that are around us, appreciate the things that have been created for us. Good morning, Tara, tuning in from Australia. Thank you so much. That's awesome. I am so glad to have you here. And so I know we only did 4 cards. Spirit told me to pull another card. So the last card is the Frog Spirit, and it talks about renewal. Renewal, right? We all need that. We all need to maybe do a little self-reflecting, maybe needing to take a minute and pause. I look at this card and she's sitting and looking at the reflection, but taking time to pause. Again, taking time to appreciate what is around her and just relaxing. And I think, within today's society, so many of us are constantly going. I know I'm constantly going, running kids to sports, doing things around the house, but taking just a few minutes for yourself, taking that time to go and just renew your spirit. Give that time to your spirit to renew and to re-energize. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I will see you back here next Thursday. Have a great day.